Cherry Springs is a nature area. It's a place where there's asphalt paths that walk you along the water. There's lots of roads, there's a lot of dogwood. It's the first day, it's March 21st. It's spring beginnings. And I've seen some beaver activity. Not positive how recent it is, but the only way I'm ever positive is if I see an animal or there's a whole lot of really fresh cuts. And I see cuts, but I'm not sure how fresh they are. Anyway, this spot is a spot that's super important because it's really like, it's the junction for upstream mountain beaver, down in the valley river beaver. And this is a place where they can connect and come together. This is where genetic transference can occur if it's allowed. However, the Forest Service, it seems like every single year or every 3 years, but if we looked at the records, I think the record would show that the Forest Service asked Idaho Fish and Game for depredation permits for beavers to protect structures in this area. Their assets would be bridges and that riparian things in the riparian zone, trees, etc. So the dilemma with the beaver is the Forest Service has lots of little signs saying how great beavers are and how wildlife, it's really important part of riparian zone. Well, beavers are the only other creatures besides humans that create riparian habitat. So they're super, super, super important. There's signs that talk about moose. Moose are very susceptible to climate change, and beavers provide the habitat for the moose, for the food that moose eat. Well, Fish and Game, Idaho Fish and Game, and the U.S. Forest Service in this area keep removing the beavers. And so this film is a film to encourage the Forest Service and the Fish and Game to stop it. To stop it. Let genetic transference happen. Let the Portneuf River beavers and the beavers from this Mink Creek area connect. So the beavers aren't marrying their cousins all the time. So there's a healthy population. So we can have clean water, clean habitat for Yellowstone cutthroat trout. This will increase tourism because there are only so many places in the world where there's healthy environments close to urban centers. Plus, having that clean water helps our city because our city is totally dependent on this watershed. 90% of our water comes from Mink Creek, and we all see how little Mink Creek is. So let's let the beaver, let's not kill them. There's only a few of them left here, and let's protect them so they can protect our watershed and keep it healthy. Alright, I'm here in Cherry Springs. I'm up on a great big tree. The beavers have been taking it and dissecting pieces of it. You can see the chips and the different markings. And at Cherry Springs, and Cherry Springs is a very active spot for humans. It's a very active spot for non-humans as well. Animals that you can see here are mule deer, moose, skunks, badgers, muskrats, mink, possible pine martens. Those have been spotted up above by Scout Mountain. And so I came here today to see if there was beaver activity in Cherry Springs, and the keystone species is here. Cherry Springs is a vital spot for beaver protection because beaver here
because of all the human activity, when beavers and humans come into contact with each other, the beaver always loses. And I just want to document if there is activity. And the reason beavers lose is because of asset protection, nice bridges and other things that are built into watershed. But those things, those assets can be protected with non-lethal mitigation. There's flow devices, beaver deceivers, things of that nature where people and beavers can coexist, and I think it's super important for people and beavers to coexist. Here's a fresh cut down there. I wonder if I can. It's going to be pretty hard to. Yeah, maybe better come out. I see these strip sticks floating downstream. It's a pretty good indication that there's a beaver upstream. Strip sticks. Black and white. It looks like a young beaver. He tries to sneak back along the bank. Some people call it tree sculptures. Some people call it damage. Some people call it innocence. Are hatched yet. It's a good example of a goose nest. These are cool legs. Okay, you can hear me, I'm mad. I'm not staying, I gotta go. This is Taysom Rotary Park. It's a cool little trail. It's well manicured, well kept. Nice little trees, nice little bench. Great trail. It's along the Portneuf River. And then on just the other side of the park, we can see beaver cuts right there. See the angle, you can see the strip bark off the trees. Oh, I better go slower. Forget I'm zoomed in. But there is apparently a lot of activity on this side of the river. And I'm not sure what this structure is, but I think this has potential to be kind of a area of concern just because of this structure. This is what's called an asset, and so when you have assets you don't want to lose them. And if this active Taysom beaver comes over here and starts chewing on those trees, well, I don't think it's going to try to miss that asset. So I really should check on the other side and just see those trees. But those trees probably, if they don't have wire, they should get some wire around them immediately. Yeah. Just to protect the asset. The ones that aren't in the way, that's okay. You know, when they cut down these big trees in lower sections of the river and the limbs go in there, it creates jags, and those jags catch plastics that flow through the river. Those jags catch siltation, and those jags create habitat for minnows. And as that siltation catches, then those sandy, gravelly bottoms can be exposed in certain areas, like those falls that I saw earlier, that we recorded those ducks on. See my first hiker or walker of the morning. But so I think this is a good watershed guardians project. I think City Streets is over this. So these are people that'll be need to be talked to, and just because, you know, one thing, watershed guardians, we're about non-lethal beaver mitigation, and it's about seeing things before they happen. And so, you know, that could happen. I'm not saying it will, but before we move the animal, let's just use good management, non-lethal management. Let's put some wire around the trees. The thing I think I should say is that basalt barrier there where the rock chucks live, and reptiles and different birds go in there, it acts like a barrier, so I don't think that there's really any need to do anything except put up some wire, because that basalt acts like a barrier, and I don't see them coming into this park and chewing those little trees. But if it happened, it's a pretty fixable thing. But the basalt acts kind of like a barrier for beaver. I mean, rock chucks, they can sure get in and out of those. that basalt easily, but beaver not so much, and so their habitats in the river and along the banks, in the dens, they're much safer in water, so they spend more time in water. But obviously you can see where they've spent some time out of the water chewing. I'm not sure where the lumber is. I heard that these beaver were taken out in the fall, but I've just heard that from the users here, so I don't know. This is a real good example of what downed trees can do, and how beaver along the banks of the Portneuf River are creating habitat for fisheries and for waterfowl. You can see a couple mallards coming into those trees where the beaver cut them down. I go shoot a lot of video, I go walk a lot of ponds, and there's just absolutely no doubt in my mind that birds and beaver really go together, and so do fish and beaver. You know, beaver create habitat, they clean our water. You can see how those branches are acting like little catchments, and it creates fish habitat, cleans it up. Those willows will get taken down. I doubted beaver would build a dam here. It'd be interesting to see though, if it did, what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers would say, because you know, they're the people who are in charge of the canal and city streets.
cycle again. So beavers are similar in that sense where they'll work hard in an area for a while, but then when the habitat's not there, they'll move down and they'll recreate ponds again, and they'll recreate habitat. And we're really lucky in Pocatello to be, you know, really close to a pristine area. But let's kill the camera and move up. Little pets here. I'll move it. Here's the cloud. Here's probably that tree from up there. This birch is still wet. There's the birch right there. Water right here. There's a slide. So this little pond is our first. We're going to call that our first active pond in this area. This is an active dam because the water level's even, the flow's even, and there are fresh birch and willow cuts in abundance. So when we're out trying to verify activity, we look for beaver cuts. Okay, here's a slide that goes into this little pond. Here's probably about a 20 foot long dam. You can see how the water here is stagnant. It's getting filtered. It's just settling here. Oh, there's oxygen bubbles coming up in the pond. There's fresh beaver cuts, so this is part of this Arrowhead Beaver Complex activity that we're watching. Below the dam, you can see the exit here for the water. It's coming out. It's draining into here. And here you can see clear water. The siltation's gone. There's gravelly beds, which would, if there were any cutthroat trout, which there might be some in here, but it's not really a great fishery, that's for sure. And they would be Yellowstone cuts. But you can see how that dam makes it possible to have gravel beds for the fish to spawn in. And also, you can see where all a fish has to do is swim up here. A fish just has to follow the water and wiggle their way upstream.